Most people go to the thrift store and be like, this is junk. There's nothing good in here. But you're not thinking. You're not using your mind. You're not applying yourself, Smokey. See, you looking at what it is and not what it could be. I'm going to show y'all how to make something out of nothing. When I initially started thrift shopping for home decor, it was because my budget was so small. But what started off as an opportunity to save money quickly became into one of my favorite pastimes, in a way I could express my creativity. Finding these old items and flipping them into stylish and trendy home decor soon became one of my favorite things to do. And sometimes when I found an item, I wouldn't even flip it. I would just clean it up and style it in my home. In today's video, I have 5 thrift flips that are super simple to do. Anyone can do these. Super simple and super achievable no matter your skill level. For the first project, I will be making a Martini table. This has got to be the easiest one of them all. I found this candlestick holder for about $10, as well as this bronze plate with this detailed edging for about $4. After I gave it a quick cleaning, I then adhered the 2 pieces with some E6000 glue. And that was basically it. I really liked the age detail on it, so I didn't want to spray paint it or go in with any rubbing glove. Because it takes E6000 a while to completely dry, I'll be going in with a couple dabs of hot glue for immediate adhesion. And that's it for project 1. Project 2, I'm gonna make a book display. I've been seeing these all over the place. You can get these for about $20 as an acrylic stand, but anywhere from $70 to $80 for a solid wood one. I found this, what was probably a shelf of some sort at the thrift store. I was about $1.99, so I was like, why not? It was the perfect size that I felt like if I cut it in half, I could recreate one of the book displays. After figuring out the halfway point, I'm then deciding where I want the 2 pieces to intersect. The way we'll be joining these 2 together is called a half lap joint. It's where you notch out halfway through each board so that you slide them into each other. I'm not sure if that's the greatest description, but I'll insert a photo. So that the sand sits properly, I will be cutting the feet and the sliding intersections at a 45-degree angle. A circular saw, a sliding table saw, or even a hand saw might have been a much better option than my jigsaw, but I was just using what I had. After the 2 pieces were cut, I then went in and hand sanded the edges in the intersection. I joined the 2 pieces together with the hammer for a nice snug fit, and then I went in with some spray paint. And after 2 coats of black spray paint, that's a wrap for project 2. For project 3, I had kind of been eyeing these hand-woven vases from Crate and Barrel, and I thought it was just in time for the fall season. And I had seen these vases at the thrift store, and I liked their shape, and I thought these would be a good project to try to recreate that look. So I found these polished hemp cords at Habitat for Humanity about a couple years ago, and I got them for 50 cents. And so I'm just going around and applying this with a bit of hot glue. For the first couple rows, I will be gluing it all the way around, but once the first couple rows are established, I'm only going to apply the hot glue periodically, just so that the rope doesn't move all over the place, but it's not necessary to glue the whole entire time. Once about halfway through, I flipped it over just so that it would be easier to see what I was doing. I continued wrapping the vase with the hemp cord until it was completely covered. I also applied the same technique to the second vase and continued until I was done. And that's a wrap for project 3. Next up is this terracotta and cane shade. So to accomplish this look, I found this bubble looking vase and I got it for about $5.99, and I've seen this little lampshade for about $2.99, and I just knew if I cut it down it would be perfect for what I needed. So I'm measuring down the height that I want all the way across, and then I'm using my X-Acto knife to separate it. Over the past few months, I've been seeing this technique to create almost a faux wood look with paint and gel stain. So when I seen these old placemats, I knew that this would be the perfect technique to use to achieve that cane wicker look. So after cutting down the placemats to size, I used some hot glue to stick them to the lampshade that I cut. Since I'm not sure how well paint will stick to the lampshade or this base, I'm going to go in with this Zinsser 123 primer to make sure the paint has a nice surface to stick to. Though I'm keeping the base white, I still wanted to add a little warmth and some visual texture, so I added some baking soda to a warm white, and I'm painting the base. And for the lampshade, I'm going in with that same white without any baking soda, and I'm just covering up that primer. Once the paint was dry, I used this walnut gel stain to create that faux wood texture. A little goes a long way. Just dab the tip of your paintbrush and work that gel stain into the surface. The more strokes you give it, the more you spread it out, the more you create that wood grain look. If I could do it again, I would have used even less so it would be less opaque and have more of a grain. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with this project, and that ends project 4. And for the final project, I am going to try to recreate this Genon table lamp from Studio McGee. I found this huge lamp base for $7.99, y'all. $7.99. A lamp this size can easily go for 100 plus. So anyway, to create that age look, I'm going to be mixing some baking soda with some black acrylic paint, and I kind of want this on the thicker side. I really want a lot of texture from the baking soda, so I'm just going to keep playing with the amounts until I find a consistency that I like. Once I got the texture I was satisfied with, I then started applying it to the lamp. I really worked it into that woven part and then onto the base. I wanted to make sure everything was nice and covered. Once the lamp was completely covered and dry to touch, I then took it outside and did the dirt trick. Most people mix some dirt with some water, but that's never worked well for me. I always felt like the water reactivated my paint and it would chip off or come off. So I just like to use some dirt and just rub it on. So I'm using some old potting soil that I have left over from my houseplants, and I'm just simply rubbing this into the vase. I'm sorry, not vase, into the lamp, and just really rubbing it all over the place and packing in the layers. A little more in some spots, less in other spots, but I keep going until I have the look I'm satisfied with. And then I dump off all the excess, and this is my final look. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Next time you're at the thrift store, don't look at how that item looks. Reimagine what it could possibly be. I promise you, you can make something from nothing. Until next time, keep living sensationally.